and welcome back to A Better You. I'm your host, Fernanda Ramirez, and welcome back to this podcast. I'm so excited you clicked on today's episode because we are going to be getting down to the nitty-gritty details of how you're going to become your dream woman or girl, whatever you want to call yourself, your dream icon. In the last episode, we talked all about becoming this dream entity, one might say, and we talked all about the internal work it takes to reflect that version of yourself on the outside. We talked about dismantling false beliefs, doing some reflection, thinking about what our habits are, what our patterns are, what we've been doing, who our icons are going to be, what our dream version of ourselves looks like, how to reprogram our mind, how to fill up our days with joy and feel alive and feel present and feel excited and feel happy. We also talked about body care and health care and all of the health habits that come along with that, along with my personal tips for my diet, how I work out, and overall just some rituals that I do to help myself feel like myself and feel like the most elevated version of myself. But in this episode, I promised you guys I would give you the glow up external guide, how you're going to start to radiate. Actually, I will say, if you do the internal work and you work on your mental health and you work on your habits and you work on your body, it will reflect on the outside. So 100% you are already having an energetic glow up. So definitely watch that video if you're interested in this topic. But I guess this episode, we're going to take it one step further. We're going to talk about the external part of ourselves. Because as a Libra sun, y'all know I love beauty. I love self-care. I love taking the time to focus on my outwards shell. I love all things fashion, all things beauty. And I will say, after being an influencer or content creator for like 5 years, and of course being into beauty and all that years prior, and watching and consuming a bunch of this type of content, I feel like I have really narrowed down the ultimate formula for how to look my best if I've got an event, if I've got to prepare for vacation, if I've got a date, if I've got a party, if I got to take photos. Like, I know what I need to do, the secret formula to look my best, and I've perfected it down to a T. I have been the girl even with a Getty photos that is so bad and so tragic that I said, Fernanda, you gotta learn from all these models and all these influencers, the tips and tricks so that this never happens again, and that we have a full glow up. So that is what we are here to do in today's episode. I've got my journal here with me, and we're going to talk about all things hair, face, fun treatments you can do, hygiene, body care, some extra beauty tips. And also a big thing I want to talk about is how I personally feel like I had my biggest external glow up over the past year. Because I really feel like last year, this time, I was down bad, honestly. I felt like I was working out. I felt like I was eating okay. I felt like I was doing all the habits, but for some reason, I just wasn't looking the part. I was like, why do I look so bad? I low-key look dull. I look like I don't have sparkle. I look like, I don't know, I just was not feeling myself. And I've done a lot of the work, and I feel honestly like I look the best that I have in a long time, or ever, honestly. And I also want to say, one of the things that I think has absolutely transformed the way that I present myself and the way that I feel about myself and the way that I feel when I look at myself in the mirror is self-love. Now, I have a full-on episode on how to practice self-love and how to actually implement those tips into your life, but definitely listen to that episode, because it doesn't matter how much external work you do on yourself, how many treatments you get, how many different makeup techniques you try, how many different hairstyles you try. If you do not love yourself, nothing will look good, nothing will feel good, and you'll keep searching for a void, trying to fill it, just trying to make yourself feel pretty when you don't feel pretty inside. So I want to say, you guys, before we talk about all the external stuff, know that I'm also coming to you guys, giving you all these tips as fun ways to feel elevated, to take the extra time to take care of yourself, and to have those little beauty secret tips. Because as somebody who's in the spotlight and as somebody who likes to socialize and be out, of course I like to present myself as the prettiest version of myself, the most blown up version of myself. And I know that you guys want to do that probably going into summer, going into spring, and just feeling your best. But I don't want it to seem superficial or to seem like the external shell is the most important thing about us, because that is so far from the truth. And in fact, your external shell should be the least interesting thing about you. But when there's so many interesting things about ourselves and we love ourselves so much, it doesn't hurt to take extra care to the shell that we inhabit. So I guess with all that being said, listen to the self-love episode if you haven't already. Listen to the first part of this little series that I've got going on how to become your dream girl. And then we will start from this place where we talk about our beauty. Before we get into today's episode, if you haven't already subscribed to the A Better You YouTube channel, make sure you do that. We're almost at 600,000 subscribers, which is freaking insane. The thought of having 1 million plaques is actually unreal. And if you guys like the podcast, you can definitely definitely helped me get there. And we'll have a big celebration all together, I swear. Not only that, but if you haven't given the podcast a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you do that. And you can leave a comment either on the YouTube video or on the Spotify, or you can even leave a review on Apple. That would mean so much to me, and that would help me out if you like listening to the podcast, and will keep me uploading more and more episodes. So with all that being said, thank you for clicking on this video, and let's get into it. Also, I want to say I have a few episodes on glowing up. So if you want to listen to all of them, I'm sure if you listen to all of them, you would have so many tips to gather from. I hope I don't repeat myself too much, but at the same time, I feel like I haven't listened to any of those episodes since I filmed them. So I'm sure that I've got new things to say and new additions. But one thing I do want to say is about the biggest glow up that I feel like I've had over the past year. Now let me bring you back. We're going to do a little story time, okay? It all happened when I was 22. I'm 23 right now, okay? Last year, I was feeling like, why am I looking in the mirror and I'm not liking what I'm seeing? What is going on? I felt like I'm gonna be straight up here. I'm gonna tell you what it was. And I'm not saying that this is bad in any way, but I just didn't feel happy with myself. I felt like I wasn't as toned as I was. I had fallen off the gym. I got a really bad short haircut that didn't flatter me. I started gaining a bunch of acne, and I felt like I looked very inflamed and puffy and dull. And I'm like, what is happening? I just want to feel beautiful. And every time I look in the mirror, I just don't feel it. Now, to be fair, I was going through a lot at the time, so I have to give myself some slack because that was just a very stressful period in my life. But what we can learn from that is that clearly I was not prioritizing the things that were making me feel good. I was not prioritizing eating healthy, eating clean, eating at home, cutting out sugar, cutting out excessive alcohol, cutting out excessive sodium. I was probably drinking a lot of dairy. I was not treating my body with what I know makes me feel good. On the other hand, I was probably not working out, and working out is not only for your physical body, but your endorphins, your health, your mood, your mental health. There's so many reasons why working out is so great for you. And I was definitely not prioritizing movement. I was not getting good sleep. And honestly, I feel like the biggest thing was the cortisol, the stress. And that is what I want to talk about, because honestly, that has made the biggest difference, I feel like, in my overall appearance and my overall energy, and your energy impacts the way that you look. Oh my God. To just give some backstory, at the time I was traveling every 2 weeks, which is such a privileged place to be at. Don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful for that, and I would not want to have it any other way. I was so happy to be traveling all the time, but I was not home for, I swear, longer than a month. So I was always traveling. I was always eating out. I didn't have a good routine. I didn't have a good sleep schedule. I was moving homes, which was a lot. Moving is just such a stressful situation to be in. I was going through some family stuff. I was going through relationship stuff. I was trying to upload, and I had so much work. I had so many schedules going on. It was a lot for me. Now, what I have done since then, well, for one, I got out of a relationship, which probably took some stress off me. My family things got a little bit more sorted. I got settled into my home, and I started traveling less. So those are some of the basic things that I did to clear my stress. Now, I also started doing more yoga. I started slowing down more. I started being more present, and I started taking the weight off of me to perform and to be this perfect ideal version of myself. If I had to upload a few less YouTube videos for the sake of my mental health, so be it. Honestly, I was so much happier. I was so much more relieved, and to take the pressure away was really helpful for me. Now, when you're listening to this, you might be thinking to yourself about your own life, and I hope that you're thinking to yourself, are there things that are stressing me out that I could cut out of my life? Because if there is a man stressing you out, I'm telling you, he's going to be making pimples pop on your face. He's going to make your face look dull. He's going to make you just look stressed out. If you've got friends that are being bad friends to you, it's probably making your body inflamed. Maybe your chakras are blocked. All those things that you can cut out of your life that are stressing you out, reevaluate what those potential blockages are, so you can cut those out. And if you can ask for help or lighten your workload, I honestly think it is so worth it for your own mental health. And not only will it help your mental health, but it'll help the way that you actually present and look in this world, and the way that your energy feels to other people. I want to talk about some of the things that happen when you have an excess of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. This is when your body is in fight or flight, when it's in survival, and it cannot prioritize anything but keeping yourself good and afloat. Cortisol triggers inflammation, which is puffiness, breakouts, dullness, and red patches. Your skin can look irritated or tired even if you're eating well. This is literally what I was saying that was going on with me for a year. I will say, to combat this, other than literally just erasing the stress out of my life, I love using a gua sha, an ice roller, and doing lymphatic drainage massages on myself to reduce inflammation and to reduce bloating, as well as drinking a lot of water and using the sauna to kind of sweat any excess water weight out. or just overall kind of detox from the gunk that is in your body. I also love doing classes that make me sweat a lot. Like I think 2 days ago, I did a Jaybird class right off the plane when I was coming back from Hawaii, and it literally just made me feel so much better. I just felt like I released all this garbage that I was holding on to. It just cleared my mental health by a landslide. Okay, you guys, sorry to interrupt, but it is now time for the sponsor of today's video, and today we are talking about Revolve. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, you would see that I'm currently wearing a cute little top from Revolve, and if you don't already know this about me, Revolve is one of my favorite shops all year round. I don't know about you guys, but there is nothing better than finding the perfect outfit for a Friday night out, a weekend getaway, an event with your friends, or even if you just need a new piece for a seasonal refresh. I always turn to Revolve no matter what the occasion. It is seriously my go-to destination, whether I'm looking for a statement piece for an event or simply curating my everyday style. They truly have it all. With over 1,200 brands, such as Lovers and Friends, Amanda Uprichard, A Goldie, and so many more, it is the best place to discover both classic pieces and trend-forward looks. I recently picked out a bunch of different outfits for this spring, and I've already been wearing them nonstop. One of the things I'm absolutely obsessed about Revolve is the fact that they offer 2-day shipping. It is so fast, it is so easy, it is perfect for last-minute events. They've also got easy returns as well as curated edits that actually help you find whatever fits your vibe. From party dressing to weekend brunch, festival season to wedding guest outfits, Revolve has you covered. If you guys are ready to refresh your wardrobe, whether that be for spring, summer, or for any occasion that you have coming up, you can shop my top picks at revolve.com/better and use my code BETTER for 15% off your order. That's revolve.com/better, code BETTER. They usually never have discount codes, so this is such a great opportunity to get on, and the offer ends on May 28th, so do not miss out. Now let's get back to the episode. I also started making sure that I was washing my face thoroughly at the end of the day and every morning so that I wouldn't have residue makeup or just like dirt on my face, as well as cleaning my sheets and cleaning my pillowcases so I also wouldn't have kind of like bacteria on my pillows that would end up clogging my pores and causing me to have acne. I also prioritized hydrating myself both internally with water and also with moisturizer and hydrating facial products. I know when I had a lot of acne, I was trying to think of everything I could do to dry my face out, like using pimple patches and salicylic acid and using an exfoliator and using retinol. But to be honest, all I needed was to use a lot of moisturizer to repair my skin barrier, and so that my skin would look supple and fresh and alive and not like it was getting stripped away from every drip of moisture that it had in it. Another thing that I've recently been doing is lotioning my body, which I talk about in a lot of episodes, but I feel like sometimes I only do it when it's like a ritual or like a self-care night. But honestly, prioritizing moisturizing your body every single day so that your body looks moisturized and healthy, it makes you look so much more alive, especially when you have a tan, when your skin's a little bit dry. I actually just came back from Hawaii and my skin has been looking so good as I've been moisturizing it, and it's actually like shining. Another thing that cortisol can cause is slowed collagen production, which if you don't know, collagen is literally what's in your skin and makes it bouncy and youthful looking. And let me just say, when your collagen is breaking down, that is when you start to see fine lines, sagging, and less glow. And that we do not want. I know something that I've been thinking about recently is that a lot of people my age are really getting Botox and fillers, and it seems like a quick fix because you can just pay for it and it seems like all your problems are going away, but in reality that is just a band-aid solution to the bigger problem at hand. So I mean, since this video is a glow up external video, I mean, I don't necessarily want to promote using Botox or filler. First of all, I don't even have it, so I can't really speak on it from my personal experience, but I also don't really want to promote that just because I don't think that that's something that you need to get, and I don't want people younger than me thinking that they need to do that, especially when it's become so normalized in the media. I feel like even myself, as somebody who is like pretty confident in the way that I look, I feel like there's times I can go into like influencer spaces or spaces where a lot of people have these enhancements, and it makes me feel like I need to get that as well. And so I want to tell you guys, you do not need to do this. There is a lot of risks that come with doing these treatments, and you're not always guaranteed that it's going to be 100% safe for you. And so what I actually want to promote, honestly, is focusing on that collagen production and focusing on hydration and focusing on eating the right nutrients that'll make you glow from within, and also using SPF and taking care of your skin. I think having youthful skin that glows, that radiates, really comes down to your health. Of course, having a skincare routine that works for you that you consistently use. You can invest in getting facials. I've talked about my favorite facials before, but I love getting a chemical peel called the Jessner peel. I usually go to Luxe Skin Lab. I also love getting like extractions and hydrofacials that just kind of replenish your skin with like boosters and also take the gunk out. I also personally love using nose strips, as well as sometimes using a little face razor to get the little hairs off your face. I think it's called like dermaplaning. I also personally love using face masks. I'll use some from Caudalie, as well as any like charcoal face masks for your nose and your pores. I also think Lush has great products that are super healthy and fresh for your skin. I love using eye patches, pimple patches. I also love taking collagen powder in my smoothies, but in reality, the way that you actually boost your collagen for bouncier, firmer, and glowier looking skin is from eating collagen-rich foods or peptides. One of the biggest things that people always recommend when it comes to collagen is drinking bone broth. Now, I actually had so much bone broth probably like 2 weeks ago because I was sick, and so my mom made me like a big veggie soup with like literal bones in it. It was like a beef stew, and it is so good on your digestive system. I just felt so snatched. And overall, I feel like whenever I eat meat, like red meat, I feel like my skin looks better. I don't know you guys, but the steak, I feel like it helps the skin have a healthy glow. I also found online here that another way that you can increase collagen is with vitamin C, which you can actually get vitamin C from your foods if you eat oranges, kiwis, strawberries, or bell peppers. And another way that you can increase collagen is by consuming antioxidants, which is like green tea, berries, turmeric, and pomegranate. Another thing I like to do to make my skin look bouncier and just overall more refreshed is using retinol, but I only do this when my skin is feeling a little bit stronger. And I try to use the ones that the facialists recommend me because they can be quite strong. And also, if you are younger, you do not need to use retinol. In fact, it can be harmful, I think. So only do this if I feel like you're older or you've been to like a facialist and they told you that you should use retinol. But retinol actually boosts your skin's own collagen production. And then the last thing I want to say with the retinol is that it can cause a little bit of irritation. So if you do start using it, use it a little bit at a time or use it every other day or every 3 days. Another thing that is super great for collagen production is LED light therapy. Now, I actually got one of those LED masks that is supposed to like help with all of the skin benefits, but I haven't used it recently. So I really need to get back into that. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about collagen disruptors, the sun is a big one. The sun, we all know it causes fine lines and wrinkles and sunspots and like all of the worst things. So you guys, I cannot stress enough, use your sunscreen. I swear I've been using sunscreen religiously for the past like 5 years, and I feel like I'm still young, so I feel like I shouldn't be getting told that I look way younger than I am. But I don't know if it's the genetics or the sunscreen, but literally on this Hawaii trip last week, I got asked if I was in grade 11, and I got asked for my ID in every single place I went to. So I think the sunscreen is working and the moisturization is working because people end up thinking that you look younger than you are. I personally love the Ulta MD Cosmetics tinted sunscreen. It works really well on my skin and I've been using it for a few years now. Also, I feel like these can be an obvious, but some collagen killers are smoking, sugar, and processed food. Now back to talking about stress. Another thing that cortisol can cause is hormonal imbalances. I actually went to a naturopath like probably 2 months ago. I gave her the whole rundown of like my health, and she gave me a whole like little map of like what I need to do, what foods I need to avoid, what foods I should eat more of. I got some blood work done and she gave me some vitamins that I need to take. Just overall helped me kind of get back on track. So I definitely suggest going the natural way if you can, if you're feeling like you have any imbalances or health issues. I will say though, naturopaths are really expensive, so it's definitely a luxury to have, but if you have the means to, definitely invest in your health because your health is the number one thing that you have. Without your health, you have nothing. So honestly, I think investing in your health is so worth it. Another thing cortisol can cause is disrupted sleep and sleep cycles. And we all know about beauty sleep. We can't forget about the sleep. And I'm somebody who probably could get better at this. I feel like my sleep schedule can be so bad sometimes, and I don't even know why, because it's so fun and nice having a good little night routine and a good little morning routine. You know, the sooner I go to sleep, I can read, I can lay, I can relax. The sooner I can wake up and get on with my day. It's not worth having a few extra hours of scroll time just to miss your sleep. You'll be left with tired skin, mood swings, dark circles, the list goes on. We gotta prioritize letting go of stress so that we feel beautiful on the outside and so that we have that glow up. I genuinely think that fixing my cortisol levels and getting my stress at a manageable level and just feeling more ease throughout the days has made me look just so much lighter. Like my face looks lighter. I think my energy is higher. My energy is better. The people around me notice it. Even when I post a photo, I think my energy like transfers through the screen and people commenting are like, you look so much happier, so much like you look like you're glowing. And I'm like, guys, it's literally the fact that I'm like trying to prioritize my peace. I also want to say some personal things that I did to make myself feel better was I grew out my hair. I don't know why, but hair is such a big confidence booster for me. And I really think if you can nail down what hairstyle looks great on you, you gotta rock it. Like I have nailed down that long hair looks better on me. I don't think I match short hair very well. And that's not to say that it's not a look. I think it was a vibe at the time, but I definitely do not feel my most confident in it. And I feel so much more confident when I'm eating healthy. And so my skin looks healthy and thick and shiny. And honestly, eating meat helped so much with this. I remember when my hair was looking super thin and dull, it was like when I was like low-key being a vegetarian. And the minute I started eating meat, it just started looking way thicker and actually growing properly. I swear I thought I was balding for a bit. Another thing that I kind of changed was that I think 2 years ago I was really into doing brow laminations and lash lifts. Typically, I would put down that if you want to have an external glow up, you can try doing beauty treatments such as these ones. And a lot of people love them and they feel so glown up when they have them. But I'm not gonna lie, when I was getting my brows laminated, I actually think my brow hairs were falling out. I think I just have way too sensitive of like skin and thin hair that like it just wasn't it for me. So honestly, stopping getting brow laminations made my eyebrow hair grow back, and instead I just use the Anastasia Beverly Hill Brow Freeze. That honestly works way better for me than getting a brow lamination. Lash lifts I do also really like, but I also just like my regular lashes, so I don't feel a need to get it. But if you want to get some treatments like that just for the fun of it, just to try it out, just to see if it works for you, a brow lamination, a lash lift and tint, those are always fun. You can tint your eyebrows. Sometimes I do that with beard dye and it actually turns out really well. I often get questions about what I do to my eyebrows, but I just pluck them. I've never gotten them done before, and I fill them in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pen. I feel like that's my ultimate little combo there. Another thing that I got, which I've talked about before, is lip blush, which if you don't know, lip blush is lip tattoo. Now, this is the one beauty treatment that I would recommend to literally anyone. It is like my favorite treatment that I've ever gotten. Not that I've actually, it's probably like the only one really that I've gotten, other than like lashes and brows and stuff. But basically it is a semi-permanent, I think, tattoo that goes on your lips. And you go in, I went to Amber Stencils. If you guys go to her, tell her that I sent you. But I went to Amber Stencils and you go and you show her your lip combo. So I brought the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner and lipstick. And you tell her this is what I want, this is what I like. And she shade matches with your favorite lip combo. Basically, they go and tattoo your lips with this. The reason why I think this is so great is because it kind of outlines the natural shape of your lip and sometimes even makes your lips look a little bit fuller. So if you don't want to get lip filler or you don't want to get like a lip flip, getting the lip tint will kind of make your lips look a little bit more defined, a little bit more plump. And you also don't need to worry about lip liner or lipstick because it'll kind of already have the color there. Also, when you're not wearing makeup, your lips will naturally look more pink, more blushed, whatever shade that you personally get. I know for me, my top lip was randomly like not that pigmented. It was a little bit lighter than my bottom lip, and whenever I was sick, my lips would be like purple or they would like have no color. And I remember my parents always asking me if I was sick because I looked like I had no color in my face. So getting the lip blush definitely brought some aliveness back into my life. And I feel like it's also like a sign of youthfulness, like when your lips are flushed and colored. So I do think that the lip blush was such a great investment in myself. I really like it. I was supposed to go back for a retouch like after 6 months, but I never went to get it. So I might go get it now a year later. If you search up Fernanda Ramirez lip blush on TikTok or on YouTube or on my Instagram, I posted a little mini vlog of me getting it done, the whole process, what it felt like, what it looked like, the healing process, all of that. So definitely go check that out on any of my socials. But just to give you like a quick recap, I think the downtime is like 5 days, and the first like 24 hours you can't go in the sun, you can't get it wet, like you have to take super intensive care of it and like put like ointment on it and stuff. So it's a little bit annoying. You've got a little bit of downtime, but I do think it's worth it. And I think that that is one of the biggest things that helped my external glow up. Another thing that I want to say is, and sorry, I kind of am going a little bit in tangents right now. I didn't structure this super crazy. I'm just kind of talking, but I want to talk about hair again. One thing I really enjoy getting when it comes to hair is getting gloss treatments. This is something that Madison Beer does, Hailey Bieber does, all the celebrities do, and you can go to a salon to get it done, or you can like buy gloss treatments at the store and do it yourself. I personally love the one by The Way, and I even did a sponsorship with one called Glaze a few years ago. But this makes your hair just look so shiny, so fresh, like you just came out of the salon. I also love using the K18 hair treatment. That really helped my hair. And honestly, any products, I said this earlier, but By the Way and Olaplex have just been so helpful to me. Also, getting regular trims can help your hair look so fresh and just like, you know, get rid of all the split ends that we don't really want. And honestly, I'm a big advocate for getting your natural hair color. I feel like the hair color that you were born with always just looks so great on you. And not only that, but it will also look the healthiest. And I mean, I personally love extensions. I love a good hair extension. I will say it's a trap. If you get hair extensions, you'll always want to get them. You'll never feel sexier than when you have hair extensions, and it's a constant cycle. So you either don't fall into the trap or you get it and you feel how amazing you feel with them on. I swear it adds so much to your hair, so much volume, so much livelihood, so much pizzazz. I did just get them out. And honestly, there's beauty in the natural hair too, of course. There is great relieving freedom of when you can actually just run your fingers through your hair, work out in peace, not worry about the whole aftercare of when you have to shower and blow dry and style. It is quite nice to just be able to put your hair up and work out and not even think about it. So I'm currently enjoying my no extension look, but you know, if I'm trying to pop out, the extensions are coming back on. Okay, you guys, I'm stopping in for one last ad on this podcast episode, and that is for Nutrafil. So thank you, Nutrafil, for sponsoring this episode. Now, as you guys know, summer is full of big moments, whether that is weddings, events, parties, birthdays, and endless photos. But if you're dealing with hair thinning or shedding, showing up in those moments can be tough. Nutrafil takes a full body approach to hair growth. They work from the inside out. So the sooner you start, the sooner you'll be feeling confident and focusing on what matters to you most. Nutrafil is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. Anything truly worthwhile takes time and effort, and with Nutrafil, you can see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair and less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. Everyone's root causes for hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth does not cut it. Nutrafil has multiple formulas to give your body what it needs to grow and support your hair's unique needs. Whether you are navigating postpartum, or menopause, a plant-based lifestyle, or simply looking to see less shedding, Nutrafil has you covered. While many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafil clinically tests formulations to ensure their efficiency. In a clinical study, 90% of women saw overall improvement in their hair after taking the Nutrafil Women's Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months. I've really been enjoying this product, and as somebody who really cares about hair health, I'm starting to feel so much more confident in my hair. This summer, if you want to stop worrying and want to start making memories, for a limited time, Nutrafil is offering my listeners 10% off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafil.com and enter the promo code BETTER. You can find out why Nutrafil is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafil.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BETTER. That's Nutrafil.com, promo code BETTER. Thank you, Nutrafil, for sponsoring today's episode. Some other things I like to do that help me glow up externally is getting my nails done, getting my toes done. I love the little details. You know, I heard someone say one time that, okay, and this is like, I don't necessarily stand by this, but this is just a quote I saw or something I saw, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. But someone was like, if you see how somebody takes care of their feet, it tells you a lot about them, because that's the part that nobody really sees and nobody looks at. And if they're taking care of it, that means that they're going out of their way to take care of the parts that even nobody looks at. So it's like really just for them. So if somebody has good like feet care, it shows that they really prioritize self-care. Now that really stuck with me. And I've tried to get pedicures like every 2 months or whatever, just to kind of maintain my toes looking fresh, looking cute. If you're someone that's like always barefoot and outdoors, it's kind of hard to get in the habit of having pedicures and having super polished feet because you're so active. But I definitely love getting, you know, my foot basically like grated off of the dead skin. You can also buy those little, like, I don't know what they're called, but like pumice stones and things for getting the calluses off of your feet. This can be also really helpful if you are, like I said, barefoot a lot, or if you like wear a lot of heels, or you're just barefoot. Of course, a manicure is also great. I try to use hand lotion as well, just so that my hands always look moisturized. And especially while I was just in Hawaii, I was trying to put extra sunscreen on my hands just to, you know, not wrinkle them. I heard one time that your hands can be one of the easier signals to look at in terms of aging. So if you prioritize hand health, hand skincare, it can preserve your youthfulness in a way that not everybody notices. So anyways, definitely the hand lotion and the hand SPF is very important. As for body care, I've said it already, but I love lymphatic drainage. I love lotioning my body. I also love a spray tan or self-tan, and I currently have a real tan, believe it or not, which is good and bad. Great because I feel like I have a natural glow to me. Great because I feel so like good in my tan lines. Great because I got some vitamin D. Probably not great because the sun, we know the damage it does. Burns are really bad for you. You guys, I'm a little bit scared of the sun because I really don't want sunspots and I feel like they develop on me quite quickly. But I feel like a lot of girls younger than me or like my age like get burns and they think it's like a funny flex, but like burns are so bad for you. You guys, if there's one thing I'm warning you this spring and summer, don't get a burn. Put your sunscreen on. You will still get a tan. The burn is not worth it. Just to kind of scare you off a little bit. I don't want to fear monger, is that the word? But I do feel like this is something that people overlook. It says online here that UVB rays cause sunburns and directly damage your DNA. Your skin tries to repair the damage, but it's not perfect, and those flawed repairs lead to mutations, hyperpigmentations, and potentially skin cancer. Guys, I got one slight burn on my hip while I was in Hawaii, and now I have weird hyperpigmentation spots, and I'm really upset about myself because I really try not to get burnt, and I did. Not only does your collagen get broken down, but you get inflammation like redness, swelling, and peeling. Your skin thickens and dulls over time. The moisture is stripped and your lipid barrier is damaged. You look dry and tired. God, the internet's like low-key stressing me out. Anyways, you get the point. It's really bad. We're not trying to increase cell mutation risk. So SPF this summer, you guys, we're using sunscreen, we're using face sunscreen. I got the Maui Babe like tan accelerator. I'm pretty sure you can apply that over sunscreen and it helps you get more of a tan without burning. So I like that. And the Maui Babe, the line also has like a tan protector, which is basically just like a lotion, but lotioning your body after you do have a tan to like maintain the color, that can be helpful. Or literally just using self-tan. We can stick to that. No tanning beds, okay, you guys, no tanning beds. We are trying to age gracefully. Now, another thing I want to talk about in regards to the external body and our external appearance is scent. We want the people that orbit around us to walk past us and turn around and be like, wait, who smells that good? Whose perfume is that? Who smells so fresh? Those are the allegations we want. So let me tell you guys, sometimes wearing like a vanilla lotion is great. And then you can layer perfumes over that. A lot of people do like a vanilla perfume and then mix it with something else. A lot of people have different perfumes for different occasions, whether that's like the seasons, the time of day, the different events. I personally love having perfumes for the nighttime when I'm going out, perfumes for the daytime, floral perfumes, clean smelling perfumes. Another thing I really prioritize is hygiene, of course. I love doing an everything shower where I shave, exfoliate, wash my body, use body wash, use soap, use a facial cleanser, facial exfoliator. I like doing the shampoo, conditioner. Sometimes I'll do a leave-in conditioner. Sometimes I'll do a hair mask. Sometimes I will do a scalp massage treatment. Sometimes I will use a Lush exfoliating bar. Sometimes I'll take baths. I really prioritize hygiene. Honestly, I feel like all the additional things that you can do, like style or makeup or like hairstyles, like are just add-ons to you just like feeling clean and feeling fresh and feeling fit and feeling happy and feeling energetically good. Does that make sense? Like I feel like those basics are actually more important than the add-ons, and all the add-ons look extra enhanced when your base is good. So again, that was all kind of a lead up to say that like hygiene is really important. I shower almost every single day. I wash my hair every like 2 days, and I do an everything shower like every 3 days. Like I think when you prioritize hygiene, it seems like an obvious, but I know there's a lot of people that are maybe watching that don't prioritize hygiene as much as everybody. And I do feel like it is just so important and will make you feel so much better. And I know that there is times where people struggle with their mental health, which then affects their hygiene. But I'm telling you this now, this is your sign to prioritize that and really see it as an act of self-love, because it will make you feel so much better. It will make you carry yourself better, and it allows you to just feel better in your skin, and everything that you add on top will just have this perfect base underneath of feeling fresh, of feeling clean, and of feeling good. I also want to say, in regards to the stress that we talked about earlier, doing practices such as meditation or yoga or journaling can really help get rid of any stress that you've got in your head. I also think investing in getting like a therapist can be really helpful. Just any way that you can kind of let go of all the gunk that you have in your brain so that you can feel more clear-minded and not feel so scrambled up there. Now, another thing I want to say that I feel like I could honestly make a whole episode, and I've made so many episodes on it, but it's all about energy and your confidence and the way that you carry yourself and your grace. Honestly, this is like the biggest thing ever. You can do all the right things and have the right makeup and have the right techniques and hairstyles and treatments, but if you are walking guarded or shelled or with closed body language, it literally doesn't matter. When you walk into a room and you're confident in yourself, you're happy to be there, you're present, you're moving with grace, you know your own worth, it's like people can't help but look. You will shine so bright that you will be a lasting memory in people's eyes and in their brains. You gotta hold your head up high, walk like you know yourself, wear things that make you feel good so that you can have good posture and stand up straight and feel like you don't need to hide or adjust or fidget with anything that you're wearing. I think looking at people in the eyes, smiling and being attentive makes you look more attractive. I think genuinely having a happy mind and a happy soul translates outside. People will feel so much more inclined to talk to you, especially if you're also willing to talk to them back and you have that open-hearted energy. If you've got to make a little vision board with your icons that have the perfect energy that you want to emulate, definitely look at that and think about these icons in your head whenever you're entering a new space or a new room or a new event or a new party or your classes, whatever it is. Thinking about these icons and channeling them when you're walking around, I swear makes all the difference. You'll feel grounded in the icon that you have chosen and you'll start to act and walk and talk just like them. I also want to say that style and fashion does such a big impact for your external self. When I'm wearing something that I am confident in, I just feel like I move with so much more ease, and I definitely don't want to be the person constantly fixing or adjusting my top or my dress or whatever it is, because it takes away from the moment. And you can find your own personal style through Pinterest or through thrifting or through just browsing new sections of clothing stores, maybe investing in some pieces that make you feel really good for this next season or this next chapter of your life. And also I want to say that when I go out and I'm trying to look my best, it really is all in the details. For me, it is, feeling fresh and wearing a good deodorant that is going to last all night. Also, quick tip here, I just bought the Ordinary glycolic acid, and you're supposed to put that in your armpits before you use deodorant and only use it like once a week, and it can help like neutralize any scent that you got going on and just makes your odor not really be there, as well as drinking chlorophyll can help you smell good from the inside. So that is really important to me. Even dental hygiene is something that I really take seriously before I go out and before I'm trying to look really good. Brushing my teeth, flossing my teeth, using a tongue scraper, using mouthwash. If I have to bring extra makeup products in my purse so that I can touch up throughout the night, that is really important to me. I usually bring some powder, lip gloss, lip liners, a spoolie for my eyebrows, maybe some eyebrow gel, maybe some blush, a setting spray. It's all in those little details. Maybe even bringing a hair oil. I make sure that I use heat protectant so that I don't get split ends, having trims here and there, wearing clothes that I feel comfortable in and that are my size so that they fit well, getting your outfits hemmed if you need to, or adjusting them so they're form-fitting to your body, picking a scent that feels really good for me and bringing maybe a little sized one in my purse, even using a body oil or a body glitter or body highlight so that when you go out you look shining. Even something as little as like cleaning your shoes so that they look extra fresh, or making sure that you wear clothes that aren't dirty. So making sure that you're doing your laundry, you're washing your clothes, everything's looking fresh and smelling good. Even wearing a belt if something is too loose. These are all the things that will make the final picture, the final image of you just look stunning. Even something like ironing your clothes makes all the difference. I also try to always wear like everyday jewelry, like earrings and bracelets and a necklace. I feel like if you're paying attention to those little details, you kind of look put together no matter what you do. This could even be wearing matching socks. Anyways, you guys, I think we've reached the end of this episode. I hope that you got a new tip out of this, or you got some inspiration, or you learned about what I personally do to feel my best from the outside, and that you take some of these into account for the spring and the summer season. You guys, I just want to end off by saying that you are beautiful already. You should already be your dream girl. These are all things that I just personally like to do to make sure that I feel ready no matter where I go, and so that I feel like I'm showing up as the best version of myself. And I just know that you guys will feel the exact same way if you take the extra time to do a little bit of self-care, a little bit of self-love, and, prioritize your external appearance. Honestly, there are so many, we already know that there's so many benefits to prioritizing our external appearance, not only in the way that we feel about ourselves, but I feel like, unfortunately, we do live in a superficial world, and sometimes it can impact the way that you show up and the way that people treat you and the way that you navigate through everyday scenarios. So with that being said, I do think it is something that we should prioritize, but not place as number one importance. I think for myself, now that I have a routine and I have all the basics locked down, I also want to prioritize finding beauty in comfort and not having to do all of this stuff to feel beautiful. And I think that's like the ultimate external glow up. You know, when you know that all of these things are just add-ons for the fun of it, but that they're not necessary. Loving yourself in your bare state as well, because that is just as beautiful. Anyways, I hope I didn't miss anything out. I hope I didn't leave anything unsaid. And I hope that you guys got the message of this episode properly and I didn't, leave space for any doubt. But yeah, I love you guys and I will talk to you soon.